I left my hometown with one bag and a heart that felt like it had been emptied out. I was 23, tired of the same streets, the same people. I wanted Houston, a place I thought I could be someone else. It was after midnight. The highway was a ribbon of dark, and the radio was just static and the hum of the engine. I pulled off at the only open station in that little Texas town because I needed gas and a break from driving. The place looked like it belonged in a film. One pump, a flickering sign, fluorescent light humming over the lot. There were no cars, no people. Peaceful, almost unreal. I kept my phone in my hand, scrolling through old text messages I couldn't bring myself to delete. That's when a truck rolled up to the pump next to me. I didn't think much of it. Drivers stop. People are on the road. Then I noticed the man sitting in the truck. He wasn't moving, just watching me. I smiled automatically. You smile at strangers late at night, and turned to shut the gas cap. The smile died in my throat when I saw 2 more men standing by the truck. Then 2 more. 4 men. Like they'd appeared from nowhere, just standing in a half circle around my car. Something in me said run. Something else said stay. Maybe they're wasted. Maybe they won't. I don't know. I reached for my car handle before I could get my door open. They were on me. I don't remember the first punch. I remember the shock of it, the cold metal of the truck's bumper, the sound of my own voice, high and raw. I kicked, I screamed. Mostly, I remember the unbelievable weight of their hands on my arms, their faces close, smelling like beer and cigarettes and something sour. They pushed me into the back of their truck. 2 pulled me over a bench. 2 shoved from behind. I hit the seat and folded. They tied my hands and feet, a belt, a string, something thin that bit into my skin. I tried to keep moving, to wiggle, to use anything sharp in my mind to get free. I scratched one of them hard enough to feel my nails tear. If nothing else, I told myself, maybe DNA would be under my nails. It was a stupid thought in that moment, but it was something to do that wasn't collapsing. They carried me into a motel room like I was luggage. The room smelled like stale beer and the kind of cleaner that pretends to hide a bad secret. There were empty cans, trash, 2 beds that had been slept in too long. One man, the oldest, told me to shut up. His voice was flat and dangerous. Another said, if I was good, they wouldn't hurt me. They spoke in a language I didn't understand. Their words rolled and clicked, and I felt suddenly small inside a world that wasn't mine. I promised them anything. I promised silence. I kept my mouth shut because what else could I do? I didn't tell them names. I didn't beg for the future. I just stayed quiet and watched the light from the street lamp cut across the carpet. Then one of them laughed and said they needed more beer. The 4 left like it was a normal errand and left me with the one who looked the youngest. My heart refused to believe I could get out. I closed my eyes and tried to map the knot in my wrists, to remember every inch of the bed frame, the door, the latch. When he untied me to let me use the bathroom, I ran. I slammed the door open, and something in me finally moved. Fear turned to speed. I bolted down the motel hallway with nothing on but my skin and the memory of their hands. He grabbed my arm, and I screamed, a pure animal sound. And this time, the sound had teeth. He let go. I ran into the neon blur of the street and jumped in front of the first car I saw. The man behind the wheel, an elderly guy, looked like I'd pulled him out of a different life. He stared at me, confused, like I was the one who'd stepped wrong. I threw myself at him and said 3 words that changed everything. I was kidnapped. He rolled his window down slow and asked like I'd interrupted his sleep. I remember the smell of his cologne and the morning air, the way his hands trembled at the wheel. I explained in the only way I could: motel, truck, men, please. He didn't say much. He helped more than I deserved. He drove me straight to the police station, sitting in that small room, wrapped in hospital scrubs because they'd given me something to wear. The world felt both very large and very thin. The officers were kind in the way people are kind when something horrible finally becomes real. They told me I needed to go to the hospital for an exam to collect evidence. I wanted to say no. I wanted a shower and my mother, and to be anywhere else. Instead, I watched strangers do their jobs while my body felt like glass. The men were arrested that same day. I remember the police conference call they made to me. We've located them. They were brothers, the detectives said later. All of them drunk, they claimed. I remember reading their names on that paper and feeling nothing, like I had been watching my life from the outside. and couldn't touch the edges of it. I moved across the country a few months later. I thought distance would make it smaller, but the nights kept painting the motel's cheap lamp on my ceiling. Every time my phone buzzed in public, my heart would try to beat out of my throat. I stopped using it when I was in crowds. I would walk with my keys between my knuckles like a shield. My boyfriend tells me I'm paranoid. He says I should be able to relax, that I survived, and the worst is behind me. He's right, and he's wrong. I did survive, but survival doesn't delete what happened. It only means you're learning how to live with it. There are things I tell myself every day, that I wasn't weak, that I fought, that the scratches under my nails mattered. There are other things I can't make myself say aloud. The fear that still comes like a cold wave when a truck pulls up behind me at a light. The sound of someone's footsteps in a motel hallway, replaying itself at 3 a.m. If there's anything I want you to take away from this, it's this. Your safety matters more than being polite. If something feels off, trust it. Keep space. Keep your doors locked always. If you feel trapped, scream until someone hears you. I know how hard it is to fight when everything inside you wants to shut down. I know how ashamed you may feel afterward, but shame belongs to the people who hurt you, not you. Your instinct to survive is not paranoia. It's wisdom, slow and steady. I ran because the only choice was to run, and though the nights still come, I keep running anyway. If you want more true horror stories told raw and in first person, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. These stories are real, they matter.